All right, y'all, we're back. We're getting ready to attach the handle onto the picture that was formed. Attaching the handle, you want your handle to look, give it a sense of balance and symmetry, as well as function. Obviously, a handle has to deal with function. So you need to know where your space is that lends itself to attaching the handle. So there's a natural spot right here because the form is goes inwards here where your fingers could go. We could extend the handle outwards and go all the way down. Given that it's a bigger piece, that would probably make a lot of sense. I like handles that have this neck that's narrowed in to kind of stay within the confines here, so it would be a smaller handle, but I think it aesthetically looks a little bit more pleasing. So that's the one that I'm going to go with. We'll kind of see where it's at. It's also a good thing that we made a second handle, because you can see the first one fell, and this is exactly why we have two handles. So now this handle, I dried it with the heat gun. It still has some flex to it, but it's not soupy soft. It'll hold the angle that I set it up at. Typically what I'll do if I'm making a lot of different things is I'll pull 20 handles, or I'll pull 21 handles, and then I'll put 20 of them on my mugs. So getting ready to apply this. Of course, we'll start with a little bit of scoring here at top. I'll line it up directly across the other side since there's a spout involved. That way my handle is not attached crooked. I'll score it up through here. I'm going to set it here and just kind of reevaluate what we've done after I've set it, so I'm going to score that lightly. Next comes how much of the handle you want to use. I again like to have a little extra up at the top where it flares outwards, so you have extra clay to work with to make sure that there's a good strong attachment. And I'm going to follow the contour of this, which is angled slightly. So I'm going to angle my needle tool, not vertical, but slightly, maybe about a 60-degree angle, and then I'll follow it around. Next, I'll take that cut and I'll score that as well. Doesn't need water because it's still pretty soft. I'll attach it here, supporting on the inside. I'll compress it after I've held it into position. I like to kind of hold it to give it a chance to bond. Then I'll start to work my angle in, which is about like here. I'll gently set it. I'm going to cut it off. Now this handle actually I dried it a little bit too much at the angle, so it actually cracked. So I would definitely redo this, but I'm going to finish this for the point of this activity so you guys can see how to finish attaching the handle. So I'll support the inside, compress this on. Up at the top, I'll do the same thing. I'll work this. A lot of people will blend all this down to nothing, and what has a tendency to happen when you do that, that's the angle that I like for up top there, which would be again for about 3 fingers given the size of this piece. The reason you don't want to blend all this down into nothing is because when it dries, when you go from a little bit of clay down to smearing it down to nothing, it shows little surface cracks, which are not actually a problem, but they give the appearance that there's a problem. So I like to kind of just cut off the excess after it's been attached. And then I'll compress, I'll just again push this so that there is a thicker piece of clay kind of right there. The last thing would be, of course, a nice little thumb rest, which would be an inverted little blob of clay up and through here, something like that. So there you have attaching a handle, pulling a handle and attaching it. At this point we would just set it and let it dry. Of course this is going to have to be redone because I over dried the handle and it cracked, which is, I guess I should have pulled a third handle. I'm a little bit out of practice. Coming at you from Westport High School.